You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
We are in very serious trouble.
Look, Jeffrey Dahmer was eating the shit out of niggas' heads.
He's the one.
As one of horror's biggest proponents, I've often found myself empty and unsatisfied with the current landscape of the Western side of the genre, constantly searching for a new and effective horror experience. Of course, American and European horror films have also left an unforgettable mark on not only my adventurous and unique cinematic fingerprint, but also on the ever-growing and expansive world of cinema as a whole. Films like The Thing, Alien, and Jaws have all profoundly influenced the medium.
Fire, you son of a...
But after years of watching all kinds of Asian horror in particular, I finally discovered a completely different spin, a wholly unique niche of films that for one reason or another can stand alongside those monumental movies and represent some of the greatest horror has to offer, but from an Eastern perspective. So here's 5 Asian horror movies you need to watch. Throwing you into the seemingly normal relationship between Jane and her photographer boyfriend Tun, Shudder details the increasingly disturbing events following the couple's hit-and-run accident on a young girl. However, this expectedly dark moment soon reveals itself as only a precursor to something far more sinister, soon igniting the story's more unnerving and supernatural elements. Upon the discovery of some creepily distorted photos, a mystery slowly unravels as the characters try to uncover a painful truth that only builds and becomes more significant, descending the characters into a desperate frenzy to determine what malevolent force has entered their lives and how they can stop it, if they even can. Shudder may not have the most complex story, but it does have some of the most memorable reveals I've ever seen in a horror movie, repeatedly leaving me astounded at where the story went. In its expertly executed exploration of themes regarding regret, relationships, attachment, and pain, the film also has some unforgettably frightening practical effects that permanently ingrain themselves into your memory, never releasing their hold on your mental and emotional fortitude, peaking in one truly unsettling final shot. As one of the most undeservedly overlooked and underappreciated found footage horror movies ever made, Noroi the Curse delivers one of the most deeply unsettling atmospheres the genre has to offer, as it follows the increasingly convoluted and disturbing story of Kobayashi, a man filming an initially benign documentary that eventually develops into a chilling mystery surrounding a village's abandoned ritual, aborted fetuses, demonic entities, and a slew of other unnerving imagery. A creepy mask, ominous kids, paranoid women, ghoulish figures, and an increasingly disturbing backstory blend together perfectly to create one of the most interesting horror movies I've ever experienced, and one of the few films truly enhanced by the found footage style, leading you along its darkening journey as you become more invested and eager to decipher the mystery as well. The film explores themes of religion, ritual, suicide, abortion, and family through a truly harrowing lens, and alongside its terrifying narrative, mysterious characters, and eerie score that sounds uncannily, illegally like the perfect main theme in The Thing, Noroi the Curse will leave you shaking with an unforgettable tingling sensation of fear and dread. Perhaps the creepiest and most disturbing film on this list, as well as one of the most unsettling horror movies in all of Asian cinema, Cairo, also known as Pulse in the US, is a cold, 2001 nightmare-inducing story. It is the personification of depression and anxiety that details the events after a strange webcam site begins allowing the dead to return to the realm of the living, causing mass disappearances and death as the world slowly devolves into a melancholy pit of darkness and despair. Pulse employs its narrative, characters, and ghastly visuals to explore existential themes regarding death, the afterlife, emptiness, and isolation. The film constantly leaves you with a sense of uncertainty, a burning desire to uncover and interpret its many uncanny occurrences as you push through this existentially challenging journey. It makes you feel somber and empty, questioning the nature of your existence, reminiscing on a time when the world felt more meaningful, happier. And alongside its perfectly unsettling cinematography, provocative themes, and expertly presented narrative and characters, Pulse is certainly a film you need to see.
See Sadako! Tell me how I can see her!
As a singularly lighthearted and subtly comedic, yet still at points deeply unnerving and disheartening film, Sadako vs. Kyako plays on many of the tropes and cliches commonly seen in J-horror, especially its two most notorious franchises, Ringu and Ju-on. From Koji Shiraishi, who also directed Noroi the Curse, Sadako vs. Kyako chronicles the story of several different groups who, for one reason or another, come together and are forced to find ways to survive after a series of terrifying and soon-to-be deadly encounters with the titular characters, the notoriously frightening and inescapable ghouls from the Ringu and Ju-on series. The film is a much more compelling version of Freddy vs. Jason, working towards a climax that capitalizes on the lore it had previously established and eventually pits the two primary villains against one another in a wondrous answer to the question of who would win. The film creates a uniquely disturbing tone through its villains, mixed with a strange lightheartedness unseen anywhere else that works especially well as a fun satire of the typically serious genre. As it introduces you to a series of very interesting characters who play well off of one another, the film doesn't hold back from some unexpected moments, especially in its finale, showcasing some hilarious and horrific visual effects. Sadako vs. Kyako skillfully blurs the line between truly creepy, disturbing J-horror and a fun playfulness of that same genre, making for an at times terrifying but also genuinely hilarious and fun horror experience. As one of the most outstanding and thought-provoking Korean horrors, The Wailing presents an excruciatingly slow burn that deliberately uncovers the mystery that arises following a series of strange occurrences in a small town. After a police officer's daughter contracts a strange disease, he and his family look for a shaman to heal her, growing increasingly desperate as they seek answers and as their daughter's condition gradually worsens and reveals some deeply troubling spiritual realizations. Compounding their problems, an unsettling, mysterious old man and a peculiar young woman also appear, each further confusing and provoking both you and the protagonist as the situation becomes more dire and as things begin steadily building towards a series of horrific acts, eventually leading to a truly haunting final decision. In its elaborate and persistently ambiguous journey, The Wailing delivers a captivating story filled with scenes of great suspense, capped off with brief but memorable moments of terror and some truly amazing reveals that'll leave you guessing what was left unrevealed and reinterpreting what you think you saw. Alright, that's 5 Asian horror movies that I certainly think you should check out. Collectively, these films showcase a variety of approaches that are only complemented by the genre's unique qualities, and individually, they each offer complex but still interesting themes perfectly presented through their at times unbelievable or downright ridiculous narratives that you won't find as successfully synthesized anywhere else. Whether it's the inescapable feelings of dread and emptiness found in Pulse, the subtle but entertaining play on the genre's tropes seen in Sadako vs. Kyako, or the methodically paced build-up to a peak of ambiguity and powerlessness so expertly crafted in The Wailing, each of these 5 Asian horror films brings something intriguing, provocative, and refreshing to almost anyone's cinematic palette. Thanks for watching.